This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. I guess we can get started with today's demo session. Just just- I'm trying to share my screen. Can someone just confirm if you're able to see it?
Yeah, we
Yes.
are able to see.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. So before we jump on to directly TOSCA demo, let me give my quick introduction. So I'm a working profession with over 10 plus years of experience, and I would just give me some time. So with 10 plus years of experience, wherein I started my career with manual testing. Initially, it was for over around 6 months, I would say. It's not much. But then after the 6 months that I've completed, then I've been working automation testing, and the tools that I have used initially was so Selenium with Java, and then C Sharp, and also other programming language, but then majorly was with Selenium Java. And apart from this, I've also did API testing using Postman, and uh, with the Tosca as well, I have API testing initially, and then performance testing. So performance testing using Neoload and Jmeter. So it's like almost 9.5 years I've been working on Tosca automation. So in this automation, like recently, I've just not recently, but then Tosca with over 8 years of experience, I have been working on Tosca, wherein I have automated or worked on almost more than 20 projects, I would say, and wherein uh, more than 20 projects wherein I've of automated web-based applications. I have automated desktop. I have automated or worked on the Salesforce application, SAP. So different applications wherein I've just been working on for during this 8 years. What I would say. So this is a introduction of mine. So before I jump on again to the next one, I would like to have uh, each one of your introduction, and in introduction, majorly a short introduction, wherein you could just let me know your name and where's your base location from, whether it is India, Hyderabad, or any other location. And apart from this, what's your background or the experience that you hold, whether IT, non-IT, and then if it is uh, some testing field or etc., whatever it is. And apart from that, a reason for joining Tosca. Uh, so whether it is your personal choice or whether it is your professional career project requirement, wherein you would have to get this uh, training. So just if someone can just mute one by one and let me know this detail, please.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Apeksha.
Am I audible?
Yes, Apeksha.
Yeah, my name is Apeksha Saugule, and the base location is Pune. I have also the 10 years of experience in the testing, but as of for telecom testing with the CGOS tool and manual also. And the reason for the TOSCA joining is just a skill enhancement or the personal, not the professional one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Apeksha. About next, who wants to go?
Hi, this is Nivedita,
Yeah,
and
hi,
I'm
Nivedita.
coming from Coimbatore, which is basically from Tamil Nadu. And I have like 6+ years of experience in functional testing. So I just wanted to enhance my automation knowledge. So before pitching into Selenium and Java, I wanted to have some basic knowledge of automation, so I choose TOSCA.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Nivedita.
Hello, good morning all. This is Lavanya. My base location is Hyderabad. I have 8+ years of experience in functional testing and 3+ of field source testing. So just to upgrade my skills, I'm learning Tosca, and it is actually the client request also for my project. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lavanya.
Hello, good morning everyone. I'm Jyoti Shinde. I'm from Mumbai. I have 9+ experience in SAP testing and manual testing. So I want to learn this for my skills enhancement. Thank
Right.
you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jyoti. How about
Hi,
next?
good
Who
morning,
wants to?
everyone.
Yes. Hi,
Myself,
Surya.
Surya. Hi, good morning. I'm having 3.5 years of experience. My base location is Bangalore, and it's my personal choice to learn Tosca. Thank you.
Thank you, Surya. Next, who wants to go next? If you can quickly have our introduction, it would be better if we just starting before we start or deep dive into Tosca. I think it's better to know a bit of introduction. So that's where I would say uh, if you could quickly unmute yourself and give your introduction.
Hi, my name is Srinivas. So currently I'm based in New Jersey. I have more than 10 years of experience in testing, mainly upskilling. I'm from Salesforce background, so Tosca would be definitely an added advantage. So I'm trying to upskill. Thank you.
Got it, Srinivas. Thank you. How about others like uh, Avinash, Shivam, Venkat?
Hi everyone.
Yeah.
I have total around 7 years of experience, and as part of a client requirement for cross skilling, I have joined the course.
Okay, Avinash, got it.
Hi everyone, I have 8 years of experience working in automation testing. Now it's client requirement to learn Tosca, so that's why I joined this course.
So how about your previous, like what automation tools or things you have worked on,
I
Shivam?
worked on mainly on UFT and Selenium.
You have Tanzania. Okay. Shallow, Sumit.
Hi, all. I'm Sumit. Basically, I have 7 years of functional testing experience. So, looking for an automation tool to learn.
So your personal choice, Sumit, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. And anyone else who wants to introduce? If not, then I'll quickly move on with our today's demo session, then which is about Tosca, right? So Tosca demo, we will start with this. But before this, now let me just share some slide PPT. I hope everyone can see my PPT screen. Can I get a confirmation?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So over here in this, just like we had our introduction, we will also same way before we have a Tosca about that introduction, we will see in general a short brief about what is testing, and then software testing, why we first of all need this software testing, and then uh, if you would see apart from that, we would also see what manual testing is, and then automation testing. So what is this automation testing? Why do we need this automation testing, and difference between this manual and automation? So testing is, if we see, so when an application, basically a software testing, right? So when a software is being built, it won't be built in one go. And even if whoever builds that application, even they are humans, and if humans are tend to make mistakes sometimes when they want to build something as per the expected, they might be trying to do it, but uh, they might miss something, or even they can make mistake. When they make mistake, we as a testers are here to correct that mistake and make sure the application is bug free and it is ready to use for the end users, the end customers. So that's where testing is must and should, it is necessary. And now manual testing, when you would say for this, uh, if we have to take an example, so any application that you are working on, so if you would take an application like any social media app, so be it a Facebook or Instagram. So for the first time when it is built, right, so you would if you have to perform manual testing onto that application, so what would be your first step or the action? So first thing, you would be opening a browser, and in the browser you would launch the application URL, like be it Facebook or Instagram. And then after you would type, after that URL you would see a login page where you would have to enter login credentials. So once you enter login credentials, you would be able to, so we as a human, if one would perform the same set of action manually by opening the browser, by launching the application, entering the details, the credentials, and hitting login button, all this by a person, a human, when it is done, it is manually you are testing that application, right? Same thing through automation, if we have to say, it's just by through a robot or through a tool, some tool, we are asking the same testing whatever we wanted to do through a tool or through a robot. When we ask it to do, that's where we can say that as an automation testing. And why automation testing is necessary, if one would ask that? So here, let's say, assume a scenario where you are testing a Facebook application. So for the first time, you would have to test the login functionality. Let's say you have user is registered and you are testing the login functionality, or let's say forgot password is what you are testing, right? So when you are testing that functionality for the first time, you would test it thoroughly and with whatever things you would want, you would be doing it. But let's say the same thing, if you would have to do it 10 times, 10th time. So when you are testing, why we would be doing it again 10th time the same functionality? Because software, when it is being built again and again, there would be some changes. Because of the changes or the latest features that has been added, we would also see whether the previous build features are working fine as expected or not. So that's where, when multiple times the changes are being done in the application, every time we have to test all the functionalities whatever is available. So one functionality, one feature that we are testing it again and again, again and again. For the first time you might test it very thoroughly, but for the 10th time, or be it at the 100th time, if you would have to test the same feature, the effect or the impact that you would put on that feature or to test that might be bit reduced, or you might have an assumption saying, okay, for the last 99 times it has worked fine, even the 100th time it might work fine. So you might not test whole application thoroughly. Not all the checks is what you would make sure it is done, or you might leave something which you see it's not much important, or might skip testing that functionality sometimes when it is there. So here, if you see manual, if we have to repeatedly do some task, the output might be impacted based on if we have tested all the functionality or not. So same thing, if the repeated scenario, repeated thing, if we would have asked a tool to do it, so the tool won't give different result for the first time or the 10th time or the 100th time. It would give us the constant result whatever we have asked to do, right? So that's where automating such scenarios wherein repeated task, repeated functionalities we have in application, the automation would be handy in this case. So I hope I'm just able to give that example. If anyone have any doubt, any questions on this part, you could just feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question. So here, that's where the difference between manual and automation. We need a human to do this, but here, if we write it script, so the tool would do it for us. The same thing, and also the time taken to perform any manual testing, let's say, so the time would be again less in automation because we just have to execute, run the script, and script would quickly do the actions, things, whatever we would be asking it to. That's where we would have these things. Okay. So any questions or doubts? If you have, just stop me. Okay. So here, as I said, we'll have again a TOSCA thing. So TOSCA automation. So if you see what is TOSCA, so Tricent is TOSCA. Even here in this training, mostly I would be focusing more on practical part than just theoretical, because the theoretical knowledge we can get it somehow, but then practical is what we would be focusing in this training session. And here, if you would quickly see, since it's just the day one we are starting, so let us just have a brief of TOSCA thing, and then the practical thing, majorly from tomorrow onwards we would be seeing practically. I would show you how you can uh, automate, how you can uh, take any website, and then how quickly, or how easy it is to automate from Tosca than other automation tools, right? So here, to give a brief again on Tosca, so it's a continuous testing platform that is designed to automate end to end. So what all applications or Tosca help us to automate? So if you want to know about Tosca, or let us just quickly compare Tosca with some other automation tool which is majorly used. So if you would see Selenium, so Selenium in the market, it's been for very long years, right? So we'll try to compare Selenium and Tosca in this thing. So first of all, for Selenium, if you see it, it's a free tool, right? So you don't need any license. It's available free to use, and with this you can just automate a web-based application only, right, with Selenium thing. But to use one, if one have to use this Selenium, they would need to have the programming, any programming language. It could be like Java, C Sharp, Ruby, Python, etc., right? And then so if someone wants to do automation using Selenium, they need to have this programming knowledge. But on the other hand, for Tosca, if you would see, so it's not free, it's a licensed tool. But then being a license, if you would see the feature or the advantage what it provides is, first of all, it is zero coding. So why zero coding? How we can automate any given scenario without even having to code by using Tosca is what we are going to discuss that in our upcoming sessions. So you would be having that clear idea on this. Why I'm saying Tosca is zero coding, or without even coding anything, how we can automate any scenario. So that we would be discussing. But then with this zero coding, it's not only this, but with Tosca you can automate a web-based application. You can even automate API testing. You can do even you can do database testing. You can even do desktop application, desktop or SAP, etc. So different side of applications you can automate. So whereas for the Selenium, if you would see, it's just a web-based application is what we can automate it. Now, again here, for one to hire or any resource that we need. So for Selenium, if we are doing it, we would need this, the resource or person should have programming. They should be from this programming background. But for Tosca, you don't need it. Even a BA or be it any person who just hardly spends some time understanding this tool, very basic thing. So even manual testers can also use this tool and automate the scenarios. That's where that how handy it is. We are going to see it in our uh, uh, demo session. So here, let us just see. So Tosca, it's a model based test automation tool. Why Tosca is called model based automation, if you have to understand in depth, again, there are our upcoming sessions where I would be explaining you in detail why Tosca can be said this, but for now you just say, okay, this is a model based test automation wherein we create modules and we reuse that modules for our test case creation. So that's what we have, and it's zero coding, or right, zero coding is required. So if you see in this key features, if you see model based test automation wherein no scripting is needed, and then risk based testing, optimizing the test coverage, and end to end automation, we have discussed about this. In one tool you can do all this type of testing, right? And then seamless CI/CD integration works with Jenkins, Azure, etc. So if you see Tosca framework, what does it allows us? If we use this, so reusability, the major thing, reusability, wherein we have something called reusable test step block, RTBs in general, what we called our libraries. So how it is used, that in detail in our upcoming sessions you would understand. But for now, if you want to know, so Tosca framework, it allows us reusability where we won't be duplicating our code much. So without duplicating, we can reuse the same component, same things, whatever we have created across all the projects or even our workspace that we would create. So few things at this first day itself, you might not able to understand whatever I'm talking about. That that is still okay. You can just make a note of things, whatever if you don't understand or you have doubt, and as and when the training session goes on, uh, we have some dedicated sessions specific to some topics, and then once we cover up those topics, your doubts, questions, whatever you would have, it would be cleared. And as I said, this would be more a kind of practical session wherein you would also be having Tosca downloaded, installed, and you can practice it while I'm explaining. After the session, you can even practice, go through these things, and you can get that hands on. So more of a real time experience, whatever knowledge, whatever things I have, I would be sharing that in this training session, so you could get that real hands on, I would say, here. Now apart from this reusability, you see scalability. So here, if I have to give you one example, let's say scalability side. So first thing, why nowadays we are seeing more on Tosca rather than other tools, if you see. So let's say if I have to give you one scenario where this from management or Tosca, like the company's perspective, the managements is are the ones who are just deciding whether they have to go with Tosca or whether they have to go with any other tools. So for instance, if you are comparing just Selenium and Tosca, okay, so let's say if there is a requirement from the client or the project, right? So we have somewhere 1,000 test cases that has to be automated. So for Selenium, let's say for Selenium, 1,000 test case, if one has to automate, right? If one has to automate this 1,000 test cases, and for this, within 1 year, if they would want to do, so the management or whoever takes the call, they would say, okay, we need somewhere around 10 resources, 10 people to complete or do this task. So 1,000 test cases within 1 year, so 10 people, and all these 10 people should have what? If Selenium, they need to have programming knowledge, right? This, keep this in mind. So the same way for Tosca, if you would see, for Tosca, the same scenario, if you would have to consider. So again, same 1,000 test cases, if one wants to do within 1 year, then instead of hiring or taking 10 people, Tosca allows like hardly within 3 to 4 people, we can do the same amount of task. So only concern or only thing in Tosca is its license. So the company or the client, they have to purchase the license for this people, and licensing cost and overall cost, if you would see, to do the same amount of work, be it with Tosca or any other thing, obviously with Selenium it is more, and with Tosca it would be less. So that's where that cost cutting, or if you would see, from the management perspective, they see more advantages if they would go with Tosca tool rather than Selenium part. So this is what it's happening. And here now same thing. So let's say we have automated 1,000 test cases for now. After this particular time, so the client would say, okay, we are good with whatever has been done. So what if we just want another 2,500 test cases to be automated? Then the same thing, whatever we did, again we can use the same thing, and probably reusability, what we were talking about, or even scalability that you see here now. So wherein, if earlier we designed only 1,000 test case, that doesn't mean okay we stopped there. If in case in future going forward, if we want furthermore things to be added, so if we want our application, if it is like some features have added and we wanted to test the other parts, so the same framework, same thing we can reuse, same framework we can even scale it to whatever extent we would want it. So we don't have to redo it later when we got different or updated changes, right? So here scalability, even from 1,000 to 2,000 test cases, if we want to, we can reuse the old components things and then start working on the next one. So scalability is also possible. And maintenance wise, so if you would see maintenance wise in Tosca, so that's with my personal experience what I'm sharing, wherein Tosca wise, if they were most of the projects that I have worked on, it was like a few were very short term and few were mid term, few like couple of them were only just long term, wherein 1 to 2 years I've been working on that. But most of the projects that I've worked on, it was more onto the maintenance scripts, wherein someone had already scripted that test case, and then we just have to make sure the uh, changes whatever one would do in the application with the latest changes, the scripts are working fine or not. If it is not, then we have to enhance the script, make sure it is working fine, and we would just be working on that part, not by creating any new test case. So it completely depends on requirement, but majority of the times it's like we would be just maintaining the existing scripts rather than creating everything from scratch or new, right? So in that sense, like other than Tosca, I see Tosca help us maintenance wise. Maintaining the script in Tosca is what I feel much easier than any other tool, even in Selenium. So you would have to go through, track down all the things, like if it is in programming things, so programming background knowledge, everything we would need to have, and then link from where it is starting till where it is end. But for Tosca, it's quite easy because we have that Tosca UI, this commander, where I would show you how you can automate, and then it is very easy to use or to understand Tosca for anyone who doesn't even have programming knowledge or any programming background. If you don't have, you don't have to worry about that. You would still be able to automate. So that's where Tosca framework, it allows like reusability, scalability, and maintainability thing. So any questions or doubts in this slide? Anyone? I hope you're following
It's clear.
whatever I'm saying. Right.
Yeah, it's
Thank
clear.
right. Thank you for the confirmation. So then the next question. Uh, so the next question here would be how we can use Tosca. So you just have to download and install Tosca into your machine. Once you have that, you just can create the workspace. You can create the test cases, whatever the test scripts we say. So this is overall high level overview. So Tosca, you can just install, create the test case or create any automation script, and then we can execute, examine the result and analyze that. So this is general flow, a cycle of how you can use. So here what I was talking about, the Tosca download and install for you. So you would also do the practical part. It's not just theoretical. Here I would be just explaining. So I would be giving the assignments, I would also be giving the real time thing, whatever I have experienced or whole thing within this 8 years, especially on Tosca, what I've been working on. So different applications with different mindset, what I have, what I've got, and all those things during this training session I would be sharing that knowledge, so which would also be useful to you. And then if you're started working in any of the project or you're thinking to work on, so this points, this knowledge or this training would be helpful to you. So here if you want to see for the first time, so how Tosca does look like. So Tosca view, if you see here on top left, it's like project, home. It is nothing but a ribbon menu. So menu options is what you are able to see over here: home, view, tools, versioning, test case, API testing, all these things. You see this is menu option that you see in Tosca. And then this is general overview of Tosca. So you have different tabs over here, tabs or sections that we call, which is test cases, modules, requirements, test case design, execution, right? So here we will have different tabs, sections into this. So what are all these tabs or sections in detail? If you would have to understand this in very first day, we won't be able to cover, right? So we have some dedicated sessions to understand what is test case, what is modules, how we can execute, what is the configuration. So all these things we would discuss in detail as and when we further go move on with this training session, right? So towards the left of your screen, if you see, this is project tree, a tree like structure when you would select or when you would open. So you see this, so this is a tree like structure is what you would find it. And towards the right you can see the properties of whatever you have selected. So that properties is what you can see. So and why it is used, how we can use that. So for now you won't be able to understand much, but for now just understand what are these things. And few things if you understand, that's fine. Few whatever you don't understand, it's okay. For now as and when I explain some topics, you would be clear with all these things, right? So here in this middle section that you see, it's your details pane where you would write actually your test case. You would do scripting and you would do the changes. So here you just like how you use a normal tool. So here if you have taken this, you just have to give value in the value section, give what is the value. So you won't be coding or scripting anything in Tosca. With just drag and drop kind of functionality is what you would have, and you can use that and you would be able to automate it. So this kind of practically, as I said, I would show this in tomorrow's session, wherein you can understand how Tosca is helpful and why it is zero coding, how we can automate any given application, right? So this is details pane where you can see that. And then towards bottom left you see this status bar. So here status of Tosca, whether Tosca is ready to use, or if you do something, some operations like cut, copy, paste, or you have engaged with some operation here. So Tosca related status is what you can see that in this status bar. So this is in general a short view of what or how Tosca would look like. So this ribbon menu, tabs, properties or project tree, the status bar, and then details pane. So any questions or doubts from anyone on this? I hope no. So I will move on with the next slide. So here we'll see what are the use cases of Tosca. So in general, which particular industries can use Tosca? If you would see, so any industries which is banking or healthcare, retail, telecom, etc. Any industries what we have, they can use Tosca. And within those industries, within those companies now, where exactly they can use common use cases of Tosca into that particular company, if you would say, okay. here that company, if they are doing any regression testing, if they are doing API testing, if they want to do UI automation or SAP testing or database testing, so any of this if they would want to do, then they can use TOSCA, right? So this is about industries and this common use cases of TOSCA. So here, if I have to give you the next slide, which is training key points, so what all we are going to cover. So let me first open quickly our website. So if you would go to this website, wherein I hope our admin team have shared all these details. If not, you can connect with our admin team and they would be giving you the details, the course curriculum, what all things we would be covering here. So on this website, so if you would go here and then first thing about details, so about me introduction, you can just quickly see what all things we have did, and then curriculum, majorly what all things, what topics we are going to cover in this. So automation testing overview, components, commander, all these things whatever you see on the screen is what we are going to cover it in our training session. So here and then overview again, with this training what you are going to get. So you would be getting the TOSCA product consultant certification, majorly this certification. So not only this one certification, we would have this badges again, AS1. So all these are the certifications, whatever we are seeing over here, automation thing here. So AS1, which is automation specialist level 1, and then automation specialist level 2, AE1, which is automation engineering level 1, and then TDS, test data service level 1, test data service level 2, and API test case, automating API test case. So this all things you, we would not only do this, but to do this you would also have to do all these courses or the training thing. So certification we would get all this as a badges is what we would get in, and from this training you would get this certification, wherein this certification is not just from our institute side, it is overall you can showcase this certification to any of the companies which is valid, and this from the TOSCA Tricentis side is what you would be getting it, wherein if you are applying for a TOSCA related job or you are looking for that opportunity, so having this certification would be handy. And then if you would have this thing in your resume, it would, you would be like kind of highlighted, or it would be an added advantage to you over other candidates who have not done the certification. So having certification is what an added advantage. So as part of this training we would be covering this, I would be giving you instructions, details on how you can do this, and then after attending or completing this training thing, you would be in a stage where you can do all the certifications by your from your site. All these things we would be covering as part of our course. You would get this certification. So in the certification, you, it would show you your name printed on it, and then it is valid for a couple of years is what it would show, so that you can showcase that to any company that you are uh, wanting to work with on TOSCA, right? So duration, if you see for this course, again almost 30 to 35 days is what we would be taking to complete all the course curriculum, whatever topics we have. So we would be completing it in this particular thing, and then assessments we would also be providing as and when I would complete some topics, and then whatever uh, questions or things, some real time scenario based something if I have to give you, so I would be giving that uh, part for you to automate, and you can practically try doing that thing. And then we would also have some doubt clearing session. So here it's like not only we just cover up, or I will just cover up the training part. Apart from that, on a specific given day, so in a week, so I would have some session again dedicated for your doubts. So anyone have any doubts, questions you would like to ask, that before start of the session or at the end of the session, I would take even the doubts. So uh, making sure that everyone, whoever attends this training session, whatever personal, whatever doubts you would have on this TOSCA thing, everything I would be here to make sure it is cleared. So that's where our goal or intention would be for taking this training, right? So you can go through this details over here and you can understand bit more in details whatever you would like to, right? And I hope our admin team have shared this details, so all the recorded videos is everything you would have this. And then tosca course completion certificate, you would get it. So who can enroll, you can see all these details, whoever has this wants to learn automation testing, excel, and then any one of this, you see, you can go through this. I don't want to just repeat it. So you can see over here at the end of this course what you will learn. So you can just master whatever topics, things, all this things, as1 as2, all the topics, the certifications, whatever is needed, that thing practically we would be doing. So you would be in a better stage to uh, do the certifications as well, right? So here if you see, you would find that details onto this website. So uh, that's it about the information that I wanted to share in this session. And then here, if you have anyone having any doubts or questions, you can just unmute yourself and then try to ask the doubts, questions, anything that you have.
Yeah. So regarding the certification, like, is it included with the amount that we are gonna pay, or like it's like separately we have to pay for the certification?
Nothing to be paid extra. So whatever is paying a course enrolled, once it is there, so nothing for the license, nothing for the certifications,
Mhm.
anything. You don't have to pay any extra things.
Okay, and
Everything.
all these batches will be covered as part of a training, or separately after the course completion we have to do individually, or is it like included within the training sessions itself?
It is included within training sessions only.
Okay. And also, like, apart from that, will you be helping us for the resume building as well, incorporating the TOSCA features in your resume?
Right, right. Yeah, that at the end of the session. So we would be doing that, and sample resume is what I would be sharing, and I'll also give that information how one should prepare the
Mhm.
resume. And I being the like with over 8 years, as I said, so I was also interviewing in one of my previous company that I was working on. So I was even interviewing few of the candidates. So as an interviewer, what questions I would ask and what answers, or how exactly I would expect that answers to be given. So all those things keeping in my mind, I will be giving that in our training session. So you would get that complete overview of what is this TOSCA, what if you are new into this, and then you are trying to find a job on this. So what exactly you should keep in mind to answer those things. Everything I would be
Okay.
sharing that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
So, okay. So, how long you will take? I mean, how many days you will take for this API testing? Or,
So API testing.
yes.
Right. So here, it's not just specific days is what you can say on that, because as part of overall thing, we would be covering all the topics with respect to TOSCA. So once we cover with respect to that, then with API it is, or with the web, there is not much changes or things you would see. So it's like how you would interact with the APIs and all, you just have to know in that case with APIs thing. But then other than that, the topics or the things that we would be using across, it is not just restricted something with web, not just restricted to API or to database. It's like overall it would be used. So API thing, there I would be explaining how you can interact with the API part. But then apart from that interaction with the API, the next things, whatever we would be doing, that since we would already be covered in the initial thing, so here we don't exactly can calculate how much time we have taken for the API part, because all the topics that we would be discussing, the same would be used in APIs. So that's where you can say the whole thing. So it's be it API, be it web, you would just be covering everything during this time. Clear, Srinivas?
Yeah.
Hi. So is that SAP also will be covered in this course? SAP
No,
related
so
modules.
not SAP. So here we would be focusing on, do we have here, let me just show you. If not, okay, so we would be covering so web-based automation, and then we would be doing API testing, and then the database testing. So we'd be covering as part of our training, we would be covering only these things, not SAP. But then again, as I said, so apart from that SAP thing,
Desktop.
so
How about desktop automation?
right, so as part of our training, we won't be covering that. But then if you would see, the only thing what one would have to know in that case is how you can interact with SAP application or any desktop. So once we know that interaction part, other than that, the rest things, creation of the test case or taking the modules, creating, automating that, or executing, configuring, all that things we would be already covering it in initial training session. So all those topics could also be used for desktop application as well. It's just only thing how you would interact. So if you have that infrastructure, if you have that desktop application, if you have SAP downloaded, installed, you can even try those things from your end. Just by interaction part is what you would have to know. Other than that, the topics that we would be using here, it could also be used in SAP. So it's just overall tool perspective, you would just have to understand tool perspective. You just have to see what things, what topics, what all things it is handy. You can just understand from the tool perspective. Other than this, uh, the same things would be used across any application that you would test, be it web, be it desktop or API. So not much of a difference, in short, if I would have to say.
Hi.
Also,
Any AI
you know,
concepts will be here.
Right. So TOSCA thing, if you would see, TOSCA has some vision AI wherein they are TOSCA people, they are still adding that feature, and going forward we might have that, but it is not fully fledged, completely available, and we cannot do that as of now. So yeah, we won't be covering anything related to that, but TOSCA, it's still in build pro. AI thing is still in progress, I would say, for that.
yeah.
Any
Also, we
mini
know
projects.
opportunities available for TOSCA, whether inside of India and also outside of it. When we try to search for it with 10 to 12 plus years of experience.
Right. So if with my experience, so if I would have to say in general, so on the Selenium part or on Tosca, so if you would see, so this is just last few couple of years. Let's take pre-COVID and post-COVID, like before 2020 and then after 2020. uh, I have like before 2020, before COVID, so like till 2019 I was working here in Hyderabad, India company. But then midway in 2019 I had got an on-site opportunity, so where I worked for Australia, a company in Australia. So I was permanently transferred to Australia. So for a couple of years, I was in Australia working for different clients, and there, so let's say I have worked almost for 6 to 7 clients in Australia. While I was working for those 6 to 7 clients, personally, I have seen Australian, especially the Australian clients, they were majority of them, they were using Tosca as an automation than Selenium. And why Tosca they were using? As because of this part, whatever I have explained. So you see, no coding, and then quickly to do it, we can quickly automate any website, and the amount or the investment that they would put on this with the other tools is much, the return that they would get is much better in this than any other thing. So personally, with my experience before COVID, if you would say somewhere around Selenium had 80% was there, let's say 80% in the market. So Tosca was assume it was just 20%. So even Tosca is in the market from last 20 odd years. It's not just recently it has come, but why we are hearing much of TOSCA nowadays or recently is just because the TOSCA people, they are constantly doing some changes, adding up the features and the benefits that they are providing. That's where, if this was the previous thing, so pre-COVID, you can say, and then post-COVID, same thing. So Selenium, so from 80% of the market after the COVID 2020, personally I have seen it is reduced to 50%, and now Tosca is also somewhere around from 20%. It is now reduced to increased to 50%. Now going forward, even you would see much more opportunities in Tosca. And reason for this, again, as I said, management people, companies, they are seeing the benefits what Tosca is allowing if they would use Tosca, not other tools. So this is pre-COVID, post-COVID. So if you see earlier, if the market was this, nowadays, from last couple of like almost 4 to 5 years, I have personally seen these things. And if you would go on Naukri profile or LinkedIn, if you would search, you would see many opportunities that's coming up on Tosca as well.
Hi, can you show us how will be the related to the on-site? I mean, actually, um, real time, what you are doing in the office. So can you let us know how it will be done?
Yeah, Harsha. So here, in the training, I would keeping all those things in real time. So okay, what is the framework? What is the workspace? What you would create? What things you would keep? How you would structure things? How would you organize things? What all things you would do? Everything that in real time, how we do that, I am going to explain in this training session, so you can understand things more clearly once you attend few of these sessions. So you would get that understanding clearly. Yeah. So Kamali, do you have question? Anything you would like to ask? You have raised hand. Any
Hi.
further questions from anyone?
Yeah. When the classes are started from tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow I would be showing you practically. I would show the demo part again tomorrow, wherein I would show how you can automate. Will try to take some sample website. We'll try to automate that particular website. So even to do that, I would want each one of you. So what you can do is just try to open this website. So I would share this link. So you can just go to Google and type demo web shop Tricentis. So if you would search for this, you would get this link. So on this website, you just go there and then try to click on this register. So register yourself, give your details, your email ID over here. So register onto this, and once you do this, we will try to automate this application. So as part of this, I would show you quickly in tomorrow's practical session how you can automate this application and how you would be able to log in. So all those things I would show you.
And the timing will be same?
Timing would be same, 7 to 8 a.m. IST.
Okay. Thank you.
Pawan, yeah. So you are taking only this web shop or any other application?
We can take other applications as well. So as and when a particular topic, when I would be explaining, we would be considering all those things, and we have different applications that we take here. So different applications we can. So it's only like, if you would understand with respect to one application, if you understand same things, it could be used across other applications. So there won't be any changes. If you would think there could be any, but majorly there won't be any changes with respect to different applications. But then whatever topic I would be explaining, based on that, I might be testing or taking the other applications to show, demonstrate. So if you would attend this training session, and then if you would get thoroughly understand whatever I'm trying to explain with the sample or demo application that I would test, this you can apply real time with your own project if you're working on anything. And there, if you're working on any of the company's project, and that they have you let's say you have any web-based application that you have, and that you were doing manual testing, same manual testing, instead of doing it manual testing, you can automate that. While you are attending this training session, the topics, things, when it is clear, you can automate the same thing instead of you doing that manual. So you would be in that stage, I can say, if you follow this training. Yes, Apeksha, what's your question?
So before tomorrow's session, we have to be ready with the download of the TOSCA, or you will guide in the session.
uh, so first you would have to like enroll, and our admin team, they would once we have your details, your email address and everything, I would be sharing the downloadable files, downloading of those things, and then license configuration, how you would have to do that, everything that as a process we have it. So our admin team would be helping us to do this. So you can connect with admin team and enroll yourself to this course, and you can get these details from our admin thing.
So
So
by
for
the end,
tomorrow, it's just a demo part. I would show you again how you can use Tosca and then automate the sample website. I would take it and I will show you. But then that as a next process, after that, once we have Tosca downloaded, installed in our machine. So initial couple of 3 to 4 session, it's okay if you don't have Tosca yet already, but then before that, you can get some overview understanding of what or how we are doing what things.
and by end of this course, what do you think that how much year of experience or the knowledge we can gain? So as a
Right. So
that
those things, I'll take this questions offline, to be frank, if I have to, because this differs from person to person and as an individual. So since once we start our training session, we would have our WhatsApp group, a separate WhatsApp group created, and we would have things, any questions, any such things, whatever you would have, we can discuss it later after the session.
thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Apeksha. Yes, Avinash.
Is Jenkins in? Sorry.
Yeah, Nivedita, you can go.
Yeah. So is Jenkins integration is also included?
Yes, with this, how you can execute scripts from Jenkins, all those things, knowledge, required information, everything that I would be sharing on with you as part of
Okay.
training. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm basically from e-commerce domain, so thought of
Mhm.
asking like e-commerce domain is also covered with Tosca. What we're gonna
E-
learn.
yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
What would be the
Any,
total duration of the course?
it's maximum of this, so almost 30 to 35 days. We'll be covering, completing all these topics. Weekdays, 1 hour every day, 7 to 8 a.m. IST.
A deck setup you will be explaining.
Yes, I would be.
Thank you.
For weekend also classes available.
Not weekend, Kamali.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, only weekdays. So even I am a working professional again, as I said, and then it's not only what we have during our session. You can just clarify your questions. Even since our WhatsApp group would be created over there, as and when you would practice something and any other questions that you would have, we could even connect. It's over our WhatsApp group that we would have. So questions could post at any point of time, and whenever I would get time, apart from my working timings, would just see it and try to make sure you get that clarification. So things would be much more in better understanding stage once we move ahead for few days in the session, and you could understand how things are working or going on. Yeah. Uh, any further questions from anyone?
Mostly like you will be explaining based on that demo web shop.
Oh, it's a mix, I would say, demo web shop or the other applications. So on the topic wise, as I said, but just to start with, I would want each one of your individual to register. Come to this page, click on this register and fill your details, your thing, and then this we can log in and then try to do some real kind of hands-on over here. Yeah.
After this, we has to learn advanced task again.
Sorry, didn't get your question.
Is there any advanced TOSCA learning sessions?
Advanced TOSCA. Like, can you just elaborate what do you mean by advanced TOSCA? What
Actually,
exactly are you expecting?
I heard one of my colleague informed me there is an advanced TOSCA sessions also will be there.
So here, as part of my training part, so all these topics, all these things, whatever it is there, this would be covered. So most of them is even the advanced part that you see. So test data surveys and even the text distributed executions. So API testing or database testing. So in TC shell, all these things again are advanced topics as well. So if you know all these things, this majorly what we use in day-to-day life. Any further questions from anyone?
How about the recordings and the access? Can we able to use the recordings once the course is being completed?
Yes, so here recordings and access to that, so it would be uploaded on the YouTube, and you would people whoever have enrolled would be able to see this YouTube the course, everything. It is accessible throughout, so you don't have any expiry for that.
Okay. How about the support? Suppose if we got stuck after the course has been completed, the forum will be enabled, the WhatsApp group or any other thing in case of any help needed once we into project, right? Will there be any other support?
So that's again depends mostly, but in general, it's majorly only for the training purpose until the training part. But after that, it completely depends. We won't be able to commit like okay, 24/7 will be available. So it's like we would even have other things, other trainings and other parts we would be doing it. And as an individual, again, it's completely difficult at this point to say that.
At least the WhatsApp group will be enabled, right? At least whenever the time has been available, would
Yes,
the
yes,
help with.
it would be available. Yeah, even for previous batches, like recently I've completed in March and April, though March batch. So the WhatsApp group is still enabled, and people could have that thing to discuss anything if they would want. So we have that group enabled. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If no further questions, then we are good to close our today's session. And tomorrow I'll show you practically how you can open this website, any sample website we will take, and we will try to automate this flow. Okay. With this, we are done with today's session. Thank you, everyone.